Giants-Seahawks, the only game this week between two teams who are above 500. Both surprisingly above 500. Giants 6-1, Seahawks 4-3. Seahawks 3-point favorites at home. You have picked the Seahawks to lose every week this season. How dare you? Do you pick them to lose again to your New York Giants?
You go. You're the Giants expert. I've picked the Seahawks to lose every week this season. I've probably picked the Giants to lose like 4 out of the 7 games. I mean, yeah, the Cowboys games. The only game I picked the Giants, the one they lost. So, and the Bears. I picked them to beat the Bears. So I'm all over the place with this one. You go ahead. You start off with this one, Mr. I want to smoke a cigar with Brian Daboll.
Well, and this is where I'm conflicted.
Yeah.
Because Brian Daboll is the new kid on the block, but Pete Carroll is the guy who just keeps getting it done. He's 1 win away from matching the great Bud Grant. I've got a Bud Grant portrait down in the barn. Maybe I need to get a Pete Carroll portrait down in the barn. Maybe the Vikings would be better off if they had hired Pete Carroll at some point along the line. Bud Grant hired Pete Carroll in 1985 to coach the defensive backs in Minnesota. So people say to me all the time, well, not all the time, but from time to time. It's not a constant question, but what do you root for? Who do you root for? I root for good stories. And what story is better right now in the NFL? I know to me, the most compelling story is they trade Russell Wilson, and he falls apart with the Broncos, and somehow the Seahawks are winning. And Geno Smith is awesome. And Ken Walker III reminds me of Adrian Peterson in 2007. And Tariq Woolen is a great defensive rookie. They could have the offensive and defensive rookie of the year, both in Seattle this season, depending upon what Sauce Gardner does the rest of the way in New York.
Yeah.
I'm smitten with what the Seahawks are doing. I love what Brian Daboll is doing with a collection of spare parts that were compiled by Dave Gettleman that really aren't that good, but Daboll's making it work. I just think that this thing and the whole mystique of the 12s is starting to come back. This is a tough spot. Maybe I'd feel differently at MetLife Stadium. But in Seattle, I got the Seahawks 27-20.
I get it. I mean, this to me is one of the harder games to pick of the week here, for a few different reasons. I've gone back and forth with this one. I really have. One, the Giants defense, you can run the ball on them. I don't think they've seen an offense like this yet. Not as well balanced as the Seahawks, right? Where you go, well, the Seahawks, they're arguably the most explosive team in football. They can rip off 60-yard gains like you've never seen before in your life. And the Giants can give up plays. The one thing they don't do, though, is give up points. So you can move the ball and do that, but it's hard to score touchdowns against Wink Martindale and what he's doing there. He is. But when I think about that part of the matchup, I get scared going, man, Kenneth Walker starts to rip off a few runs and then watch out. Everything's open. And Geno's aggressive in the passing game. But the other aspect of this that I think about too is the Seahawks defense. I mean, they can't stop the run. They are horrible at stopping the run. And then you go, whoa, here comes Saquon Barkley and company. And we know Daniel Jones has been playing great off of that, and there. So I've gone back and forth here, but I'm going to go with the G-Men. I am. I'm going G-Men 27-24 on the road. I think this game can be fun and have a lot of back and forth, but I'm going G-Men finally. Come on, G-Men. Come through for me. Florio's got the Seahawks. I got the G-Men. It's time I win one of these damn matchups against you.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.